They learn something early that most people refuse to see. They learn, usually through rejection or public embarrassment, that showing weakness invites attack, not sympathy. In every room, every conversation, every gathering, one person sits back and watches it all unfold without a single word, while others rush to speak, defend, explain, or dominate. This silent watcher gathers power most never notice until it is too late. The real reason they stay quiet is not shyness. It is calculation. They understand that silence creates a vacuum others feel compelled to fill. A nervous coworker rambles about weekend plans after a tense meeting. A friend over-explains a small mistake during dinner. A rival in a group chat keeps typing long messages to justify a decision. Each word they add hands the silent one more pieces of the puzzle. Motives, insecurities, alliances, and cracks in the armor. They use people as tools. Like when a co-worker says, "Relax, I was just joking," after mocking your idea in a meeting, to make you feel wrong for reacting and to stop you from pushing back. The silent watcher catches that exact move. They file it away. They see how the joker tests boundaries and how the target folds. No reaction from the watcher, just observation. The silence itself becomes pressure. Others start to wonder what the watcher knows. They start to perform harder, reveal more, and weaken their own position without realizing it. What most miss is how early this pattern starts. Children who get punished for speaking truth learn fast. They stop offering opinions. They stop reacting visibly. They watch instead. By adulthood, the habit hardens into strategy. In a boardroom, the silent executive lets loud voices clash. They note who interrupts, who flatters, who avoids eye contact. When the moment comes, one precise sentence from the watcher shifts everything. The others suddenly realize the quiet one held all the cards. They learn that information is control. Every unsaid word protects their own thoughts while exposing everyone else's. A partner who stays silent during an argument forces the other to escalate, to accuse, to beg for a response. The silent one measures the desperation. They see the exact point where the speaker breaks and offers concessions just to end the discomfort. That point becomes leverage for later. Silence turns conversations into interrogations, where the questioner is the one being questioned without a single query asked. Consider how silence weaponizes discomfort. In social settings, most people hate gaps in talk. They fill them with gossip, confessions, or boasts. The watcher simply listens. They notice the friend who always brings up their achievements unprompted. They spot the subtle dig hidden in a compliment. They track who changes the subject when certain names appear. Later, when alliances shift or conflicts arise, the watcher knows exactly which buttons to avoid or press. They never needed to speak to win. They learn, usually through repeated small betrayals, that trust is earned through what others volunteer under pressure, not through promises. A silent colleague at lunch hears the team complain about the boss. One person goes too far with criticism. The watcher says nothing. Weeks later, when promotions are discussed, that loose talker suddenly faces consequences. The silent one stays clean. Their hands remain untouched because they never entered the fray. Power flows to those who refuse to bleed in public. The hidden mechanism is emotional regulation. While others react with anger, laughter, or defense, the watcher stays neutral. This neutrality unsettles people. A raised voice meets calm eyes. An emotional outburst meets a blank stare. The contrast makes the emotional person look unstable. They overcompensate, they apologize, They reveal more to regain balance. The watcher collects these moments like currency. Each one adds to a map of weaknesses that can be used when the time is right. They understand timing better than most. Silence is not passive waiting. It is active restraint. They hold back until others exhaust themselves. In negotiations, the talkative side offers concessions to break the quiet. In relationships, the silent partner lets accusations pile up until the speaker admits faults they never intended to share. The payout arrives when the watcher finally speaks, or chooses not to. Either choice carries weight because the foundation was built in silence. What they don't show is the internal catalogue they maintain. Every micro-expression, every shift in posture, every forced smile gets logged. A boss who praises one employee while glancing away from another signals favoritism. The watcher notes it. A date who laughs too loudly at weak jokes signals insecurity. The watcher notes it. These details seem small until they combine. Patterns emerge. Predictions become accurate. The silent one moves through social worlds with an advantage that looks like intuition to outsiders, but is really accumulated data from watching everything. They learn that visibility is vulnerability. Loud people become targets. Their opinions invite counterattacks. Their emotions invite exploitation. The silent watcher stays off the radar. They blend into the background, yet see the entire stage. In group dynamics, they identify the real decision maker, often not the loudest voice, but the one others glance toward for approval. They see who holds unofficial power. They align or undermine without ever declaring intent. Silence also protects their shadow self, the parts they hide. Ambitions, resentments, calculated coldness remain buried. Others project their own assumptions onto the quiet figure. Some see wisdom, some see threat, some see weakness. The watcher lets them. Each projection adds another layer of misdirection. When action finally comes, it surprises because no one saw the preparation. They use silence to test loyalty. A friend shares a secret in a moment of vulnerability. The watcher listens without comment. Later, if that secret surfaces elsewhere, the source is clear. No confrontation needed. The test reveals who can be trusted and who leaks under pressure. Relationships get filtered ruthlessly. The silent one builds a circle where information flows one way, towards them. The deeper truth is that this watching creates a form of control without confrontation. Others argue, defend, and exhaust themselves. The watcher conserves energy. They let the room reveal its fractures. In families, the quiet sibling knows every buried grudge. In workplaces, the reserved employee maps office politics better than managers. In friendships, the one who rarely posts or comments understands the group dynamics more clearly than active participants. They learn something critical about human nature. People crave reaction. When none comes, they provide their own. They fill the void with explanations, justifications, and offers. The silent watcher simply accepts what is given. No thanks, no judgment shown. This absence of feedback drives people to try harder next time. They reveal deeper truths, larger plans, hidden fears. The cycle repeats until the watcher has everything needed. What separates dangerous, silent observers from mere introverts is intent. Some stay quiet because they fear judgment. Others stay quiet because they hunt for advantage. The latter type treats every interaction as reconnaissance. They study how people respond to pressure, to flattery, to exclusion. They note who folds first and who doubles down. These observations build a playbook for future moves. They master the art of the non-reaction, a provocative statement lands. Most counter it. The watcher lets it hang. The speaker feels exposed. They add details to justify. They weaken their stance. The watcher gains clarity on true beliefs without giving away their own. This tactic works in arguments, business deals, and personal conflicts. Silence forces the other side to negotiate against themselves. In larger groups, the silent watcher identifies coalitions before they form. They see who sits together, who echoes whose ideas, who avoids eye contact with certain members. When tension rises, they predict who will side with whom. They position themselves neutrally until the winning side becomes clear. Then they move. Their support or opposition carries extra weight because it seemed unexpected. They understand that knowledge held in silence compounds. Each observed detail connects to others over time. A casual comment about family stress links to later irritability at work. A pattern of lateness links to avoidance of accountability. The watcher assembles these fragments into a full picture. Others see isolated incidents. The silent one sees the system. The ultimate mechanism is asymmetry. The talkers expose themselves. The watcher does not. This imbalance grows with every interaction. Over months or years, the silent one holds maps of personalities that others never suspect exist. When power shifts, a new project, a breakup, a leadership vacuum, the watcher is ready. They know exactly how each person will react because they watched it all in silence before. They learn that most people mistake silence for agreement or indifference. This mistake is costly. A silent nod during a bad idea does not mean approval, it means assessment. Later, when the idea fails, the watcher can point out flaws without having defended it earlier. They appear prescient. They gain credibility. Others start to seek their opinion, handing over even more influence. Silence also amplifies their presence when they finally choose to speak. Because they speak rarely, every word lands heavier. A single calm observation after hours of chaos can redirect an entire meeting. People lean in. They remember it. The contrast between usual quiet and sudden input creates authority. The watcher uses this sparingly, preserving the effect. They see the shadow in others clearly because they guard their own. The colleague who smiles while delivering criticism reveals passive aggression. The friend who stays silent only when convenient reveals selective loyalty. The watcher catalogues these shadows without displaying their own. This gives them leverage in conflicts. They can expose weaknesses others try to hide while keeping theirs concealed. In intimate relationships, the silent watcher holds a different kind of power. They notice when affection shifts, when routines change, when excuses repeat. They do not confront immediately. They observe the pattern until it becomes undeniable. When they address it, the evidence is overwhelming. The partner faces facts they cannot deny because the watcher never reacted emotionally along the way. Detachment becomes a weapon. They learn that emotional investment is a liability. By staying detached, they avoid manipulation through guilt, anger, or flattery. Others try these tactics. The watcher sees through them because they watched the same moves used on different targets before. They remain unmoved. This frustrates manipulators and forces them to reveal alternative strategies or retreat. The pattern extends to digital spaces too. The person who reads every message but rarely replies gathers context without commitment. They see who posts for validation, who argues in comments, who deletes and reposts. They understand group sentiment without participating. When real-world decisions arise from online discussions, They enter informed while others scrambled publicly. They master the long game. Short-term reactions win arguments but lose wars. The silent watcher sacrifices immediate satisfaction for future dominance. They let small slights pass. They let others claim minor victories. They build position quietly. When stakes rise, their accumulated knowledge tilts the field. Others wonder how the quiet one always seems prepared. The answer was watching everything in silence. A bonus layer emerges when these observers recognize the same trait in someone else. Two silent watchers in one room create a different dynamic. They study each other. They test with small pieces of information. They measure reactions to indirect probes. The one who breaks silence first loses ground. Mutual recognition can lead to alliance or rivalry, but always with heightened caution. They see that society rewards noise while underestimating quiet. Loud voices get attention, promotions, and followers. Silent ones get overlooked until they strike. This underestimation is their greatest asset. It allows them to operate unseen. When they choose visibility, it is on their terms and with maximum impact. The core truth is uncomfortable. These people do not watch out of curiosity alone. They watch because knowledge equals power and silence preserves it. Every room has at least one. They notice what others miss. They remember what others forget. They wait while others act impulsively. Understanding their psychology reveals why some individuals always seem to come out ahead, despite saying the least. They learn something most refuse to accept. Power often belongs to the one who refuses to perform. While the crowd entertains, argues, and reveals, the silent watcher collects the pieces. They build their position brick by brick in the dark. When the moment arrives, the structure stands ready. No one saw it being built. That is the dark truth about people who watch everything in silence.